Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm here as on behalf of Mrs. Chitra. She's now unable to join this workshop. So I would like to, first of all, I would like to express gratitude to all participants, our guest lecturer, Prof. Seungshic Yum, and the head of two journals in marine science, Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, Dr. Abu Bakar Samba, as representative of Journal of Fisheries and Marine Research, and Mr. Zainal Abidin as representative of the Journal of Economic and Social of Fisheries and Marine. Today we will have a meeting or a workshop in writing scientific article and a review article. Before we start our workshop training today, I would like to inform you the progress of lectures in writing research articles. For the last 18 years, the lectures of Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science have published about 1,700 titled co-author scientific articles, which is divided into about 405 articles in unaccredited national journal, 619 articles in accredited national journals, 304 international non-Scopus articles, and 372 international articles indexed by Scopus. Therefore, most lecturers in Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science submit their articles in accredited national journals. Therefore, this training aims to increase knowledge and also will get experience from the speaker, guest lecturer of this training, Professor Seungshic Yum. So I hope the participant can enjoy this training, and you can prepare yourself, and then I hope you enjoy this training well until the end of this session. And then you may ask a question by using the format as given by the moderator. That's all. I return again to the moderator, to the master of ceremony.
I admire his motivational speech. Thank you, Bapak Ade Yamindago, Eskel MP, MSc, PhD. We will now continue to our next agenda, that is the introduction to Journal of Fisheries and Marine Research, which will be delivered by Doctor of Engineering Abu Bakar Samba. Time is yours.
I thank you, Ahmadika. Thank you for giving this great opportunity to just briefly describe about what we have done in our publication in our faculty. Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Is it okay? You can see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon. Such an honor for us for having you, Professor Seungshic Yum. Sorry for wrong spelling. Thank you for your coming and also your sharing your knowledge and joining us in this year as one of the visiting professor during a 3-in-1 program 2020. So as you know that start from last month until maybe in the middle of November, we will have more than six until 9 professor will join this program in different study program. So on behalf of our department, I would like to thank you so much for Professor Yum from KIOST, Korea, and also another professional from Bionesia. As Pak Ade mentioned before that today, the workshop of international article writing, one of the aims is to increase our knowledge. In order to increase our knowledge and in order to increase the level of our publication. One of the journal in our faculty is Journal of Fisheries and Marine Research. And my name is Abu Bakar Samba on behalf of this journal, because actually we have 2 different journals here in our faculty. And maybe after this, the another chief editor of the journal will also briefly describe about the second journal. So before I briefly describe about what we have done and what is Journal of Fisheries and Marine Research about, so I just want to describe about this structural organization of our faculty. So actually, you can find out this figure in our website, in Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science Faculty website. But briefly, if you see here, we have a dean and also we have a vice dean 1 for academic affairs. And also we have 5 dean 2 for finance and human resource development. And also 5 vice dean 3 for student affairs. And we have research and community services, information technology and public relation. And here we have journal and publication management, in which all of the journal here in our faculty is under management of this unit. And also we have a quality assurance group and ethic commission. As you know that we have 3 different departments. The first one is Department of Fisheries and Resources Management, Department of Socio-Economic of Fisheries and Marine, and also we have Department of Fisheries and Marine Science Utilization, in which marine science program study under the management of this department. Talking about journal and publication management, so our responsibility is, first one is related to the research article publication, both in journal and proceeding, and also act as the steering committee in the conference and symposium, both national and international. As we know that every year we have to create some event, both national and international symposium. This is just briefly describe what or where we are in our organization structure. And talking about the historical of this journal, actually start from before the year 2000. Actually, this journal already exists. So before the year of 2000, we have a journal of fisheries research, but all of the publication in Indonesian language. So this is a printed version and twice a year published on June and December. That's actually not before 2012, but before the year of 2000. And also in the year of 2012, this journal with the same name try to publish online using open journal system with this serial number of international ISSN, but only one volume. So at this time, we published around 7 articles, but in Indonesian language. And then start from 2015, we are thinking at the time to have one international journal that can publish all of the scope and theme as a representative of all the study program in our faculty. So start from 2015, we create the name of Fisheries and Marine Research. Just follow our faculty name, and then using the new online ISSN, so different with the ISSN before. And we accept not only Indonesia paper, but also English paper, and publish 3 times a year. And start from 2017, we published the volume 1, issue 1, with 6 articles in Indonesia and English language. And we start a different open journal system with the previous one. In 2019, we got several international index from DOAZ and Google Scholar, and also Harvard Library, and also Asian Citation Index, or ACI. And we got the accreditation from Ministry of Education and Ministry of Research and Higher Education for the Indonesian accreditation in the level of 3. And what we have to do this year, 2020, is just submit it to for the CINTA 2 level, and also another international index such as Copernicus Index. So this is the historical of our journal. When we published the first volume, this is just describe the composition of the first publication of our journal. So article contribution is more than 50% coming from outside our university, and also still less than 40% the article is written in English. And also at the first publication, we just have 4 specific scope: fishing technology, aquatic resources, aquaculture, fish processing, and technology. And we can see here that mostly the paper was in the theme of aquatic resources and fish processing. And actually, this is the scope of our journal. So this is the official web address of our journal, and this is what we got the index of our journal, both national and international. And the aspect of this journal is include aquatic resources, aquaculture, fishing technology, fish technology and processing, fisheries and marine socioeconomic, and marine science. So actually this is represent all of our study program in our faculty. And actually, this is our editorial team. So one of our assistant chief editor is the head of Marine Science Study Program, Bu Devri, and also Bu Sulastria Alsat. And also we have associate editor. From 11 associate editor, we have 5 from outside Brawijaya University, and we have 2 from outside Indonesia. So Miss Bese is from United Nations University in Japan, and also Miss Martiwi is from the University of Tokyo in Japan. At least until now, until April 2020, we have published about 9 issues. So we have published about 9 issues, and this this coming November we will publish the next issues. And as you can see here, start from May 2017, we have more than 120 articles. So 122 articles already published from my 2017. So we can see here that the number is tend to increase. The mostly in the volume 4 number 1, because in this period we collaborate also with another event of national symposium. So the number of paper during this period is increased. And we also can see here, this is the composition based on the scope of the paper. Then actually commonly the composition is almost similar, but mostly in the same of aquaculture, but not so different. And finally, when we see about the visited of our site, we can see here that we have around 90 different countries have visited this site. Yeah, Indonesia is mostly from Indonesia, 85.5%. But what we can see here that 90 different countries is big enough. And we can evaluate our visitor every day with this graph. Also, we can see here the visitor duration. So they visit our website and how long they visit and how many paper they download our paper. But to be honest, the number of paper that downloaded by the visitor is still less than 50. I think that's a briefly describe about our journal, one of the journal in our faculty, Journal of Fisheries and Marine Research. Thank you very much and have a good day.
I admire his enlightening speech. Thank you, Bapak Doctor of Engineering Abu Bakar Sambal. We will now continue to our next agenda, that is the introduction to the Journal of Economic and Social of Fisheries and Marine Science, which will be delivered by Mr. Zainal Abidin, SPI, MBA, MP. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the time. Is my sound come? Test?
Yes, Mr.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Halo.
afternoon, everybody. And also Bapak Ibu participant of training the
Halo, Sarah.
scientific article.
Sir.
Thank you for the opportunity to us to explain about the ExoFilm journal in this 3-1 study. I am Zainal Abidin, one of the editor in ExoFilm journal. Here I will introduce ExoFilm journal as one of journals published by Faculty of Marine Science. ExoFilm has already the second level of national accreditation in Indonesia, called it Sinta 2. And actually, all of information about this journal you can find in the website. This is the topic we will share about the journal history, focus and scope, indexing, editorial team, peer review process, and information for author. Economic, social of fisheries and marine, we call it ExoFilm, was established on 1 January 2013. It is a citable medium for the publication of article in fishery resource, economic, business and commercial fisheries and social fisheries. ExoFilm published the result of research within the scope of economic and social of fisheries and marine science, in full, including international trading, marketing, agribusiness, sociology, fishing industry, fisheries economic, fisheries resource economic, resource management, fisheries management plan, and also related to human resource management in the fishery field. The peer review process in this journal is in blind review and managed by the editor, by the OJS system. And the ExoFilm journal already indexed in some national level index. The first is from Ministry of Education, National Education, Sinta 2, and also other indexing. This is the certificate that show that ExoFilm in the second level of national accreditation level. And we plan to improve our index in international level, like GFMR, who has presented by Dr. Abu Bakar Samba. This is editor-in-chief. We have editor-in-chief, editor, and technical support. Professor Dr. Nudin Harap as chief of the editor, and also the editor come from 4 national institutions. So our journal still call it national journal, and I would like to improve in national level journal. Any kind of information for author can see in the website about online submission, author guideline, copyright notice, privacy statement, author fee, and others. Main information about ExoFilm journal, you can click the website. I think that's all. Thank you. And I return to the moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang.
We are grateful for the enlightening speech. Thank you, Mr. Zainal Abidin, SPI, MBA, MP. Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Dian Alifianti, SSE, MSE, as the moderator of today's workshop. Time is yours.
Thank you, Dika. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dian Alifianti, and you can call me Dian. Today, I'm acting as a moderator for this session with topic of writing scientific article and article review with our guest lecturer, Professor Seungshic Yum from University of Science and Technology, KIOST, Republic of Korea. Annyeonghaseyo, Prof. Seungshic. How are you today?
I'm good. Selamat sore. Assalam.
Selamat sore.
Alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you.
How about you?
Yeah, we are great in here. So, today I will divide our session into two parts. First is presentation from Prof. Seungshic, and the second, we are continuing with the Q&A session. So, while they're having a presentation, you can just drop your question into the chatting room with the format your name underscore your question. Or you can ask directly after the presentation. Before we are enter the presentation, these are several recent activity of Professor Seungshic Yum on scientific journal writing. He is an editorial board in molecular and cellular toxicology, and he is an associate editor in toxicology and environmental health science. And now he is a president of the Korean Society of Toxicogenomics and Toxicoproteomics. So, without any further ado, I would like to invite Professor Seungshic to give his lecture to us. Seungshic, are you ready?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, kindly bring your presentation for 30 minutes. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Let me have something. Okay. Sorry for this. Before I started my presentation, I would like to add some of my views to your two kinds of journals.
Yes.
First, Journal of Fisheries and what was the exact full name of this?
Fisheries and Marine Research. Fisheries and Marine Research.
Marine Research. In your presentation materials, the affiliation are a bit different from each other. For instance, sometimes you mention the University of Bravisaya, and sometimes Bravisaya University or something like that. So it should be same. I suggest you to that. Yeah. And both of the journals are which company publish the journals, the domestic one or the international one?
Of course, our university.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I suggest you to ask the publication of the journal to the international publishers, such as Elsevier or Springer or Francis or whatever it is. So if they studied the publish of your journal, they will make the advertisement of your journals globally. Okay, that's one thing. Okay. Again, Assalamualaikum, Selamat Sore. Welcome to the lecture regarding writing and reviewing scientific article. We will discuss we will discuss about these topics in this lecture, but hope that you don't expect too much from this lecture. Let's start with about bad and fake journal. There are three types of bad journals, bad and fake journals: predatory, hijacked, and mass publishing journals. First, predatory journals. It requests you, your submission aggressively, endlessly, constantly. And they send you many spam mails many times. They advertise themselves easy and fast publishing process. They also treat very wide range of field, scientific. Sometimes they not only in the scientific field, but also some human art or linguistic and whatever else. They say their journal aims multidisciplinary or integrative policy. A hijacked journal. This journal have fake website similar to that of renowned journal, something like this. The title of the journal is same, Cellular and Molecular Biology, but this one is the real website of this journal. This one is a fake one. Okay, next. Mass publishing journal. This journal, these kinds of journal are significant database index journal indeed. However, they publish large amount of articles online only and register only selected articles which contain significant data to the DB, something like SCI or Scopus or Google or something like, or PubMed, something like that, famous, renowned DB. So they can maintain or enhance their impact factor and their characteristics. how can we distinguish these journals? They do not have public confidence, and it's an uncertainty. They, organization, management, funding sources, location of the office, and so on are not that clear. They send spam mail. They say they will accept various fields of science and exaggerate its high impact factor, but it is not true. They use similar title and logo to a well-known journal, and the title includes not always, but many ways, international, global, and world, universal, and something like that. Here are some checkpoints. First, have you ever heard about the journal before? If not, don't try to submit your manuscript to the kind of journals. And can you find the name of its publisher, chief editor easily? Is it easy to contact them through the email or telephone or fax, whatever else? Does the peer review process clear? This should be mentioned in the instruction for authors. You should check the process of the review process in detail. Does the journal provide information about fee for publication or processing clearly? I said just before, free of charge. And some journals, some fake journals, advertise they are free to publish your manuscript or something. And finally, the last one, does the editorial board consist of experts on the field or not? Have you ever heard about some of them? If you try these checkpoints, you can downregulate that. You can lower the chance to expose to this kind of fake and bad and fake journals. Okay. Next is Q1 journals. A Q1 journal means upper 25% journal of the field. And this indicated with MRNIF over 75 point. Here is the example. One example. It's the case of a journal titled Comparative Biochemistry and Physiology, Part C, Toxicology and Pharmacology. This journal is classified in four kinds of fields. One is biochemistry and molecular biology, endocrinology and metabolism, toxicology and zoology, something like that. So in case of zoology, this journal is over, this journal is in 20%, upper 20% or something. However, if you treat this journal as a toxicology, journal of toxicology, It's just located in a half or something. Here the MRNIF is 49 point or something like this. So you should to aware of the field, which field that the journal are included in. So these journals are treated as a 2-1 journal. Data quality and quantity, it depends on the journal and the time. The time means another time. The COVID-19 issue and plastic issue are hot at the moment. So if you submit a manuscript for a certain journal with this kind of topics, the editors may evaluate your manuscript with a bit flexible stances. I mean, a bit easy to go into the review process compared to other conventional, other conventional issues or manuscript. Statistical analysis is very to case by case, so it is difficult to say just one sentence or few sentences with this topic, with this issue. Okay. Let's talk about the well-known journal indexing databases. First one is Web of Science. It covers from 19 to present, including 12,000 journals and 160,000 proceedings. You can find 8,500 journals and 3,000 journals of SCI indexed one, and 3,000 journals of SSCI journal, and 1,700 journals of arts and community citation index, or something like that. It's a very large and big DB for journal. Next is Scopus. World famous publisher Elsevier provide this journal indexing database. It contains more than 36,000 journals, include peer-reviewed journal this much. It includes life science, social science, physical science, and health science, and so on. Next is PubMed. It is a free search engine provided by Medline database. It includes life science and biomedical sciences exclusively. 30 million citation and abstracts are available in this DB. 21 million records have links to full text version, so you can download the full version of PDF file of this much. journals or publications. Google Scholar, it's also a free accessible web search engine. It's a very famous one. It contains roughly 389 million documents, include articles, citations, patents, and so on. Here are some ways to select appropriate journal to you. First one is there are no royal road for this purpose. Read latest articles of your interest often and make yourself friendly to some journals of your field. About 10, less than 10 or 11 or 12, something like that. Not that much. And choose well-known DB, as I mentioned earlier, cited journal, SCI extended. It was merged recently. Scopus, Web of Science, or something like that. Okay. Next, plagiarism. It has become a global hot issue, plagiarism, since every scientist feels pressure to show their achievement or performance these days. This can be the main factor of evaluating yourself or he or she. So first, the definition. According to Wikipedia, plagiarism is defined as the representation of another author's language, thoughts, ideas, or expressions as one's own original work. If I didn't add this one, Wikipedia, this also can be treated as a plagiarism. There are some types of plagiarism. First, direct plagiarism. The word-for-word transcription of a section of some else word without attribution or citation, and without a quotation mark. Just copy and paste. Next, self-plagiarism. Submit the same word to different, submit the same work to different journals. If you publish your work in an international journal and want to publish this manuscript or your this work again in domestic journal in your language, you should mention about it. This is the translated version of this source or something like that. If you didn't, this is treated as this can be treated as self-plagiarism. And mosaic plagiarism change some words or some, I don't know, change some words only from the original version. Okay. Accidental plagiarism. occurs when a person neglects or forgets the citation rule. Next, this case can be judged as plagiarism. Documents share at least 6 of the same word in a row. So some guys changed some words with the synonymous words. That should be treated as a mosaic plagiarism. Okay. And same meaning, this is the case. Same meaning, same structure of the sentence with different word, with synonymous word, with synonyms, it's a mosaic plagiarism. And co-authors without any contribution. Add your friend's name, friends as your friend as a co-author, however he or she have done nothing, no contribution to the manuscript or to the research or something like that. Avoid plagiarism. Please use a plagiarism checker or something like authenticate or something before you submit your manuscript. Then you can avoid the plagiarism. Okay. The next issue is article submission. First, main body of the manuscript consists title, abstract, introduction, materials and method, result, discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement, reference, and so on. Let's talk about these one by one. Okay. Title. Clearly and concisely reflect the blah, blah, blah. Study on. The title started with study on. Characterization of something. A bit out of fashion, the old fashion. So at the moment, at present, I prefer the title started with a certain analysis reveal something. The evidence or the evidence on something like this. Abstract. It should be clear and concise and accurate summary of the main finding, and do not copy and paste of your some sentence from your introduction, method and result, conclusion or something. You have to reform the sentence which included the introduction, materials and method or result and conclusion again. Abstract. You may start with the sentence which highlights the scientific significance of your research, not from the sentence or introduction or background of your research or something. Because start with the sentence, the significance of your work may attract the readers. Introduction. The significance of the study should be emphasized in this section. And materials and method should be described sequentially about ethical approval, study date, number of subject groups, evaluation criteria, excursion criteria, statistical method, and so on. And results should be clear and concise, and discussion should explore the significance of the result. This part is most important part of the scientific article, I think. You should describe the significance of your results of the topics and avoid expensive citation and discussion of others' previous results. Okay, in conclusion, many guys confused with the result and conclusion. And conclusion should contain many contains main conclusions of your study in clear and concise manner. This section is not for summary of your results. This section is for highlighting the importance of your work and expressing the future perspective of the results and so on. Acknowledgement contain grants or contribution numbers and something like this. It's not the interesting issue. Let's go for. From here to here, 9, 10, 11, conflict of interest statement, informed consent, statement of human and animal rights are options. But many journals of life sciences ask the authors to describe these sections these days. Conflict of interest statement. If you got a fund from a tobacco company and the research and your result supported benefits of smoking, or smoking is not that harmful for your health or something like that, readers of this journal will suppose your result should be biased because of the research fund. Then you can mention about this conflict of interest statement based on your conscientious in this section. Informed consent. Studies on human subject and human samples obtained from human should receive the informed consent as recommended by this organization, International Committee of Medical Journal Editors. A statement of human and animal rights should indicate in the manuscript that all the experimental procedure were performed in accordance with the ethical standard as recommended by this organization. Next one is reference. I will not say anything on this, about this. We will know well about references, about the references. Next is tables and figures. and supplementary information. Tables should each be presented on a separate page with a concise, concise title in bold text. Some manuscripts, the table is located in the main body of manuscripts. You shouldn't do that. Figures, all graphical, should be submitted at their intended publication size, not small, not that big, something like that. Last one is supplementary information, limited to data and other materials that directly support the main conclusions of your work, but cannot be included in the main body of the manuscript because it is too big and something like that. So if you have many data of these cases, you can upload your data in as a supplementary information. Okay. Now let's talk about article submission. In most cases, a cover letter is necessary for your article submission. It should be a one-page document which introduces the manuscript to chief editor. Highlight your research's novelty and importance. I found an example of a cover letter. You can easily find some samples by Googling. It's from Google. Dear editor name, and I or we wish to submit an original research article entitled something for consideration by your journal of Fisheries and Marine Research, whatever else, something like that. Next is your response to peer review result. Whatever. Okay. If you have a positive review result from the reviewers or editor-in-chief, you'd better to follow the reviewer's suggestion or suggestions. Write a letter of your answer to the reviewer's view. However, if you have a negative review result, such as reject or something, you can send a rebuttal letter to the editor or including editor and reviewers. But I don't suggest to do that because chief editor is not your side. And if you do this conventionally or conveniently, your name may on the blacklist of the journal. So I suggest you to revise your manuscripts and submit your manuscript to another journal. Okay. Now, reviewing an article, here is first is a preview step. Just check the organization of the manuscript. If it is not matched with a certain journal, you don't need to review the manuscript. You can just send it back to the author and ask to read the instruction for authors of the journal and reorganize or revise your journal into the policy of the journal. And make notes, some issues and your questions. Next is the read the manuscript closely, highlight just central point, and evaluate the point based on your present knowledge. And pay careful attention to the meanings of manuscripts and making an outline for the main point. Yeah. You don't have to edit and phrase the manuscript are not necessary. Editing, you don't have to revise and check the spelling or something of the manuscript because you are not a corrector or editor or language corrector. And then writing an article review, that's a letter for your decision. First, overview the manuscript. This article is about something by using some techniques to solve these questions. And the main body of the manuscripts are generally fine or something like that. And describe good and bad points and give your judgment. And finally, criticize and make questions on the point which you have pointed out here. And that's all. And now you upload your view to the journal reviewing section. That should be all of my presentation. Okay, I will stop here and I will be very happy to have your questions and comments on this issue, writing an article, reviewing an article. And after that, I will discuss about, I will give you my views on 5 manuscripts which have other have sent me. Okay.
Okay, Prof. Seungshic, thank you for your presentation. It's very interesting and we get a lot of information. And we have collect several questions, and the first one come from Pak Rudi. Pak Rudi, maybe you can ask directly to Professor Seungshic.
My question related with the high cost of publication with the high journal with the impact HGR more than 0.5. This is related with the cost, the high cost, because if you as you see that the higher impact for the certain journal, it takes more than 3,500 US dollar, or in Swiss francs related about 2,000. I think this is very heavy for the developing countries. So, of course, you have experience related with such kind of the problem. So, what do you think, Professor? Thank you.
It's a very difficult question to answer it. Yes, it is true that most of the journal, which we can say international journal or something, ask the very expensive fee for publication. Something like, in most cases, they ask more than about 1,000 US dollar or something. Even they say they are public or something. So I suggest you to collaborate with some expertise of your field as a corresponding author of your manuscript or something. Not just after you finish your research, but when you started your research, and ask him or her to pay the publishing fee for a certain journal or something. And sometimes, I know, I will stop here. I don't have any good idea on that problem. Sorry for that.
Okay, Pak Rudi.
Okay, so far it's okay. Your answer is okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
For the second question, is come from Mr. Wawan, Pak Wawan, and the question is regarding plagiarism. Is there any limit or a certain percentage of plagiarism that we need to avoid? This is the second question from Pak Wawan.
Regarding plagiarism, is there any limit or a certain percentage of plagiarism? In general, many journals suggest less than 30% of similarity. So here, many journals provide, these days, many journals provide the cross-check service. It's 30%.
Okay, Pak Wawan, is it clear or you have feedback?
Okay, well, not. Thank you, Seungshic.
30%, the plagiarism doesn't include the part of the method and material section.
Okay, thank you, Seungshic.
For the third question,
Last one.
this is, yeah.
It depends on you completely, I think. It depends on your conscientious. Conscientious. You have a good attitude in science. You will try to a big paper which contains large amount of data. But sometimes if you need some achievement or performance, you can split one by one to increase the number of your publications. It completely depends on you. I can only say like this.
Okay, Pak Ade, is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you, Seungshic.
Maybe any participant want to ask directly to Seungshic? If not, Seungshic, I have want to know about the plagiarism. Co-author, you explain about the co-author without any contribution, just plagiarism, include in just plagiarism. Maybe you can explain more about that, because in social relationship, in relationship with senior, maybe it's really apa ya?
Yeah,
have a benefit.
sometimes unfortunately unhappy. Sometimes your boss or my boss ask to add his or her name to your manuscript or something with pressure. It depends on the social circumstances. We have done sometimes without careful thinking at the past, but in Korea, some graduate student or some young scientist, assistant professor, or some other young guys who really deeply involved to the research or the manuscript or something. And sometimes they accused their professor or boss or who gave him a pressure to put his or her name to the to co-author of the manuscript or something. Now that kind of case become a big issue in Korea. It has become a big issue in Korea. So it hardly happens these days. So it depends on the social circumstances or something.
Okay, Seungshic.
And many journals ask to the special section for describing the contributions of each authors.
Okay, thank you. I get your point. For Pak Abu, Do you have a question?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Budian. Thank you for the very nice.
Oh, you're welcome.
Day.
Don't mention it.
For people who are stranger like me, for the international publication, for who want to publish their international journal in a high level of Scopus index, for instance, Q1 or Q2, which one is the important thing? The huge number of data, or the complexity of the data, or the complexity of result and discussion, or new finding, or maybe latest issues is more important. Yes, thank you. That's all.
Yes, it is. I think that most important point is the significance of your results to the science or others. The amount of the data or complexity should be the second or third. And I mentioned earlier, the discussion part is the most important section of all of the manuscript, I think. So the point is, you should highlight or emphasize your results and the significance of your result in the discussion section.
Thank you, Budian.
I think no more question at all, and maybe we can going to end this session. We get a lot of tips and tricks for writing journal or manuscript, such as selecting appropriate and avoiding predatory journal, data quality and quantity for submitting article to high quality journal, standard statistical analysis, and English, and tips for avoiding plagiarism. I think that's all for today. Before we ended the meeting, Seungshic will give a few for 5 manuscripts from our lecture. So it will be end. And on behalf of the commit, I would like to say thank to all the participants for the enthusiasm on this training. And see you on the next agenda for 3-in-1 program. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you very much for.
Seungshic, your for review the 5 manuscript.
Okay. Let's start with this one. The manuscript of Ida, the variability of salinity or something like this.
Okay.
You can see this
Yes,
one. You can see the manuscript. Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Which one is correct? University of, not correct, formal or official. University of Brawijaya and Brawijaya University.
Yeah. Actually, we have a different. Actually, at the first time, we call it by Brawijaya University,
Okay.
and then changed to University of Brawijaya, and currently, I think it changed again to just using Indonesian language, Universitas Brawijaya.
So it needs some time to.
Yeah.
to fix just one. Okay. Here, abstract. Abstract starts with El Nino, something like this, but it's just same to the first sentence of introduction. And the author just copy and paste this sentence to the abstract. So it's not a good, not a good idea, as I mentioned earlier. In general, the first sentence of in general, the introduction starts with a very general story. So I think this sentence, everyone will know, or everyone may know this sentence, this fact. If that is the case, this sentence, the first sentence in the abstract is not necessary because it's a kind of common sense. Okay.
Thank you.
Next. Something here. The oceanographic condition can be refracted, something like this. Water mass such as salinity, and the sentence finished something like this. But I would suggest add some more salinity. For instance, I'm not an expert in this field, but I would suggest add some other, such as salinity, temperature, or whatever, or something like that, 2 or 3. And among them, salinity has an influence of something like that. This may be reasonable or reliable compared to just mention only just mention salinity only. Salinity has an influence on fish length, weight, and survival rate. I don't think it's a direct effect of salinity to fish. And this sentence doesn't have, and I suggest positively or negatively. This should be important, I think. I think therefore is not necessary in this. It was divided into 3 zones. If I were one of the authors of this manuscript, I will add something like this. 3 zones, A, B, and C. For easy understanding of readers. This study is located in English should be corrected. I don't think this is correct. This sentence also, it's not complete sentence. I think it's not a complete sentence. Something is missing. The subtitle, Statistical Analysis. I don't think it's not an appropriate title. You should revise this one as a think about it. The title for the materials and methods section, not for the research section. Significance of the data, or something like that. Conclusion. These are the results of the research, not the conclusion. Conclusion should be include your opinion, importance of your result for the field, and meaning of your finding, and future perspective of your result, or something like that. It's completely different from each other. Yeah, acknowledgement. I means who. There are here number. It's not one, two, three persons are included as an author. So who is I? This should be clearly described. I or we. If you really want to use I, it is better to put your exact name in this box. And after I read this manuscript, the joining, joining this part into three might be so important. Is it true? All the results which you have gotten should be described with this zone, not just parallelly arranged in the manuscript. What else? Introduction part. In the introduction part, let's see, description of the relationship between salinity and El Nino, and salinity and La Nina in other waters. I mean, different parts of the earth, not here, different parts of the earth are missing in the introduction part or in the discussion part. This should be added. I mean the previous results of others of this of some relationship between salinity and El Nino and salinity and El Nina. I think that's all for this article. May I close this file?
Okay, thank you very much, Seungshic, for your comment.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's a good idea to revise it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Bambang, oceanography, variation, variability analysis.
Yes, I am.
Finally, I became a bit familiar with using this system, the June. Okay, Bambang. I think abstract is too long, and you should make this more concise. And let's see. I think has is more reliable this sentence. Java Island has its fishery management zone. And big eye tuna, okay, big eye tuna, Tunus obescus. First come, it's okay. The full name and full of scientific name of this fish, this tuna. But after that, you don't need to write all of them. The big eye tuna, Tunus obescus. Instead of this, you can just say the tuna or big eye tuna or T obescus, in the following part of the manuscript. And big eye tuna. In Wikipedia, they say like it, no, something like this. So you should judge which one is more common globally. If you think these are more common, you can use this one. However, I found this one in Wikipedia. And there are too many abbreviated terms, such as PPSC, MODIS, CDE, GAM, something like that. Not many people understand with these abbreviated terms. So there are one rules. First come, you should write in full, and the abbreviation in parentheses, something like this. And after that, you can use the shortened terms. Or you can kindly make some part to explain the shortened terms, abbreviated terms. Okay, in Citra, what does it mean, the Citra? Should it be capital or not? Something like this. Now think about it. And okay. Result. Chlorophyll A is the food source of for fish species, but it is not an indicator of. It is an indicator of planktons. Food source is plankton itself. Fish doesn't eat only the chlorophyll A, and not all fishes eat phytoplankton. And what about the carnivorous fishes? They don't eat phytoplankton. So many kinds of fishes, or some fishes, you should describe the sentence precisely. Discussion section missing. No discussion. It's a fatal error for this manuscript. You missed the most important section of the scientific article. In conclusion, these are the results, not a conclusion. Think about it very carefully. That's all. These are all for this manuscript.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Yum. I think I will correct our first draft, because I think it's very important correction from you.
Not even important, because yeah. I'm not an expert on this field.
You're so humble. I think that's very good for us. Yeah. Sometimes we are try to translate directly from Indonesian to English, so that's why our English is very poor. Yeah.
But it takes some time. So your postdoc or your student will become fluent, become a fluent English speaker or English writer.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Seungshic.
Let's move to the next one. Seagrass of Citra. We can say like this: R is not necessary, I think. Or if R is necessary, can is not necessary in this sentence. and two verbs are here. Are is not necessary in this sentence. Also, type cigarettes. I don't understand the type cigarettes. I know. Let's let it go. Introduction part. Some one purpose of this research is measuring the growth rate of the seagrass, two species of seagrass from different location. If that is the case, the significance or importance of growth rate measuring of seagrass should be described in the introduction part. And same to other chemical phytochemical compounds. There's some meanings of phytochemical compounds were described here, but no description of the importance of growth rate measuring. Okay, method unexperimented. Detailed description of the biomass measuring and phytochemical analysis should be described in the method section. Both are missing. In figure 4, what is it? Variety of sequence. Variety. I don't think this word is appropriate to this. It's not a variety, it's a species. The bar graph, bar graph of this species as isoacetylcholine are too small, and I can not suppose not exact the real percentage of this one. And there are no statistical, the error bar here. How the seagrass composed of upper part and bottom part, and what else? No, only two parts, or
Bu Citra, are you there?
Yes.
2 part or 3 or 4 part?
Pardon me? Sorry?
How the seagrass composed of upper and bottom only, or
Yeah, I actually this graphic actually I would like to describe the biomass upper and bottom. Upper is from the leaves, and bottom is the
bottom
rhizome.
root and rhizome or something like that? Is it right?
Yes.
So if that is the case, I think upper plus bottom should be 100. No?
Okay. I get the point. Yeah. Yeah, I get the point.
Okay.
Okay, I see. Okay. Thank you very much. Seungshic.
No, you don't have to say that. Let's see. Here. And then you highlighted flavonoid and saponin.
Yes.
Only these two in you should to describe or you should to mention the importance of these two phytochemical components in this seagrass species.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you also have to mention why these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Yeah.
six
Okay.
phytochemicals were tested in this research. Here. So what are the biological meaning of these two chemicals and other
Okay.
phytochemicals? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These are all for this one.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof.
You're welcome. Next one. Mangrove. Rudianto. Mangrove. In the title, I think the article should be needed in deep East Java. Here, background. Mangroves are extraordinary forests. So mangroves and extraordinary forests should be same, but forest is a kind of ecosystem. Mangrove are the plants. So I think it should be better to revise these sentences. Mangroves formed on or extraordinary forest in a coastal area or something. In general, the citation appeared in the abstract, but in general, in my knowledge, no citation indicates in abstract. But it depends on the policy of the journal. Mangrove forests as a singular. Indonesia has mangrove biodiversity. High or low? It should be high. High mangrove. Objective. Anyway, the objective needed. Supposedly, the mangrove biodiversity is not managed correctly. Correctly. I think it's not a matter of correct or incorrect. It is a matter of appropriate, proper or inappropriate, or not proper, not properly. Shrimp farming. In method section, it's really wordy and tedious, so difficult to find the real method which the authors used in this research. It's a explanation of the method or something. This part or this sentence should be moved to background or discussion section. It's not matched to the method section. Resultant discussion. This section started. Okay. This section started with previous results of others, like this, data by Susano et al. Something like that. But it is better to start with your word, your story. Start with your own story, original story, not of others in the research section. And in the research section, it is a bit difficult to find what the authors have done in this research. Conclusion part. I'm not familiar with this kind of description. This is a scientific article, but the author mentioned about the constitution of the Indonesian constitution. But it depends on the authors. I found that your faculty contains social fisheries and eco-social fishery department or something. In that sense, it's reasonable. Here, something like this, list of abbreviation. It's a very good point of this manuscript. These are all. These are
Okay, thank you, Seungshic. We will deliver to Pak Rudi because he's just left because he has a class.
Yeah, okay. The final one. No, it's a relationship between the air temperature, temperature between during and before, and the lockdown situation before and after the lockdown situation in Wuhan, China. Here, it is important to investigate. It is important to investigate the land surface temperature dynamics due to changes in the lockdown. And the reason I don't understand why it is really important to investigate this. The data analysis are generally fine in this manuscript, but I couldn't find the scientific significance of the aim of this study. And what my question is, what kinds of problems in COVID-19 pandemic could be solved or mitigated with this finding? It's just a description. Let's see, line 317. Anthropogenic, this study concludes that LST is not always increasing from time to time. However, decrease in anthropogenic activity might also contribute. Blah, blah, blah. So, anthropogenic activities in a built-up area should be the main factor of LST, the temperature increment. It's a common sense. I think it's a natural phenomenon. So I'm not that interested in the result and conclusion of this manuscript. That's my view on this one. Okay. So every five manuscripts are not that bad for the term report of a research project or something, but not good for the scientific article, I think. That's my final point of these 5 manuscripts. Thank you. I will stop here. I will stop now.
Okay, thank you, Seungshic. Pak Wawan, is that clear? Or you have a feedback?
No. Thank you, Seungshic and Mbak Dian.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, Seungshic. Is there any one question for you from the participant, Bu Umi Zakia?
No. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, Sensei. Nice to meet you. My name is Umi. I'm from the Department of Aquatic Resources Management in this faculty. And I joined this because the topic is very interesting. Actually, being able to publish an article in international journal will be very useful for us, especially the academic staff. I'm sorry I came very late, but I follow a little bit about your explanations in how to write a good article. My question is how how do we decide what journal that we have to choose to publish our article based on our title? For instance, like the topic, I write an article about, for instance, zooplankton biodiversity. And what should I choose among those many journals which is suitable for my article? This is my, is it based on the zooplankton or based on biodiversity? For instance,
I suggest you to read many articles related to your interest in zooplankton, and then you can find some journals, some few journals, 3 or 4, or 5, something like that, and then.
So I can do both. I mean, I can choose from zooplankton or biodiversity or something like that. I can choose from those both kind of journal.
You can find some similar stories during you reading many of the articles of your interest, and then you can choose it. You can choose an appropriate journal for your research. And I think Ade may help you to find a proper journal for publication of your research. He find or he choose an appropriate journal well to his manuscript or something. He hardly not that hardly, but not always rejected and succeed in publication many times.
Okay, all right. Maybe my second question is about keywords.
Keywords, okay.
Yes, keywords. How can we make or we write a good keywords? Is it appealing?
You should avoid the words which appeared in the title.
What? Oh, really?
Yes,
wow.
The title, the words appeared in the title also contribute to it as a keyword. If you if someone finds some journals, finds some articles or something, so if you do this, you can increase the number of words which can be easily, which can be attracted.
Attracted reader, you mean?
Can be selected by the by the people.
Yeah.
So you'd better to do not
use
the same word, same words
title?
in the title and keyword at the same time.
Oh,
Choose
okay.
different.
Wow, wow, this is quite new for me because I used to make the title word as a keyword. So this is actually not good.
No.
It's not appropriate. It's inappropriate.
It makes
Sensei.
it makes lower the possibility to
Wow.
hitting your articles by others.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your information. It's new for me. It's new for me. I used to make my title as a keyword, you know.
I'm really happy to give you some tips for that.
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry that I'm late to submit my article to you, but yeah, I followed every comment that you give to our colleagues, and all of them are, yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sensei. I hope in the
You are
future
welcome.
I can still ask for your help if it is possible.
Email me.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Sensei. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you, Bumi.
Yeah.
Okay, Seungshic. I think this is the end of our session, and we got a lot of information and interesting presentation from you. And I would like to say thank you for all the participants for the enthusiasm and on this training. And see you on the next agenda on 3-in-1 program. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kamsahamnida, Seungshic.
Thank you very much. Bye. Bye for now.
Thank you, Budia.